Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream, man. And today, as always, we got the player rating. City getting that 2-1 victory yesterday. I'm going to the top of the Premier League. Only our 15th day, top of the Premier League. I've got to say, but I don't know about you. I prefer being top of the league, man, than second, isn't it?
Nice, isn't it? It's nice sitting at the top.
Nice.
Looking down, isn't it? My neck's been hurting from looking up all season.
No, this is unfair. We need to reassess how we hand out our Premier League trophies. We've only been on top for 15 nights now.
Yeah, we need to restructure the Premier League, innit? Because it's not fair to work it on 15 days. Who's the real champions?
They're not happy, are they? They're not happy. But we got to keep on doing our job. We got the job done yesterday. And obviously top of the league. Lovely stuff. Arsenal didn't play this weekend. They play tomorrow. And the City, of course, play on Wednesday. So games coming thick and fast, man. It just keeps rolling. We just got to keep on doing the job. Today, though, we have the player ratings from the game yesterday. I'm actually really interested for this one because there's a couple of players that I thought had good games, bad games. I've seen on Twitter people saying the opposite. So I think we could get quite a lot of debate in this one and quite a lot of different opinions. So, guys, make sure you give us your thoughts in the comment section. If you're watching back after the stream, let us know below what you think. Let us know in the live chat. Of course, if you've got a member free chat that you want us definitely to read out, then use your free member chat. If you are an Xtra Club member, if you're not, then join. Link is in the description. Help support the channel grow, innit? As always, I'll go through the player stats and then we'll get into it. So we'll start off with Ederson yesterday. Played 90 minutes in the game. Didn't have any saves to make at all. Well, he did have saves to make. He just didn't make a save. Made one run out, unsuccessful. Had 28 passes, 75% pass accuracy, misplaced 7 out of 28 passes, made well, in fact, one of them was a short pass, 6 of them were long passes that he misplaced, 5 successful, 11 unsuccessful, and won 1 ground duel. And that's it for the stats. As always, pretty quiet for Ederson. Don't think he could have done anything on the goal, in my own opinion. I think, we'll speak about that as we move into the defenders. But I was a little bit worried yesterday. I thought Ederson had a pretty poor game, and I could tell within pretty quick after the game kicked off. For me, it was just too chill. Ederson's already chill. but sometimes he goes too chill. And I could tell within 10, 15 minutes of the game that he just looked a little bit lax, a little bit too calm. Taking that extra touch when he didn't really need to, got himself into a massive mess when he come out and almost cost us a goal. Luckily, he actually did well to recover and got his hand on the ball. But yeah, I thought he had a poor game yesterday in terms of just decision making and composure on the ball. And yeah, didn't stop the goal. Couldn't really do anything about that. But yeah, for me, I actually thought he had a poor game.
He has games like that, Ederson. He has games like that every now and then where he just like we know he treads the line of composure and calmness and then just sheer craziness, because there's a very fine line there. But you're right. Like if Fulham were a team that pressed us harder and pressed us faster yesterday, we could have been in serious trouble, because he was very calm on the ball, as he always is, but over calm. But I think for the goal, yeah, we'll get into that with the defense, but he couldn't do anything about that. And then for that ground duel, he was literally on the ground and he like pawed the ball away with his hand. I think he did a really good job there, because he could have easily given away a penalty. But it's one of those ones that, yes, I think he'll look back at himself and say it wasn't the best performance. He needs to just, I don't know, is it focus more or speed up a little bit more? But that's the thing you get with Ederson. That's just his game.
Ederson was basically on the beach. Like, man was too chill. He was definitely too chill. He was, I think he sent a lot of nerves through the roof yesterday. I know he stressed Albie out quite a lot from the watch long. I know that's a thing.
Everyone stressed me out yesterday.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, nah. He was very, very, very calm yesterday. And we used to, it's bad when we're highlighting it, because we're used to Ederson calm. We know that situation. We know how he is. But yesterday was just a little bit too much. Like you said, that fine line. I think he just went a little bit the wrong side of that line yesterday. He did really well on his fuck up when he ran into Ruben Dias. He kind of saved himself there.
But it was a fuck up.
But it was a fuck up. So you have to like negatively, like it's his fault. But luckily he sorted out his own mess. And the goal, I can't blame him for the goal at all. No. He's right in front of him. Man blasted it right in front of him. The defending was shocking. I think it's a defensive issue, not an Ederson issue.
Yeah, no, I agree. For me, I'm going to give him a 5.6.
Yeah, we kind of give average 6, and he wasn't at his average standard thing. I'll go 5.5.
He's a crazy bastard, isn't he? He's a crazy bastard. Like, he's missing screws in his head, He's a nutcase, and you kind of get to go with the bad with him, because some games he'll be absolutely class and he'll do something really special, but then other games, he needs to pick it up. I'll give him a 5.3.
Yeah. The Xtra Club have given him a 6.3.
First, cool. Big up to Masson with the 8 months member chat. See, using his free member chat, guys, you're helping support the channel. You get that member chat, you get your comment definitely read out. Obviously, we try and read out comments as well, but you definitely get it guaranteed read out if you get using member chat. So, Masson says, yesterday was like a Monday after a heavy weekend kind of performance. Focus on the vital win. No one will remember how we win the game when the season ends. Absolutely spot on.
True.
Anakin Skywalker with a super chat says, yes, Bray, has there been any news on Kevin injury? No, but there are some rumours going around that he's still not going to be available for Wednesday.
I've seen rumours of a hammy in it. So
yeah, so might not be back until maybe the weekend, maybe Real Madrid. We'll have to see. But yeah, no official news. And big up Rico. Rio says, hi guys, any news on Ake? I think he'll be on the bench probably for Wednesday, looking to maybe start against Leeds at the weekend. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. Let's move into the defence. Let's go to Kyle Walker, who played 90 minutes in the game yesterday, made 1 clearance and 1 interception. He didn't win any of his 3 ground duels and didn't win any of his 2 aerial duels. Passing accuracy was 89%, misplaced 11 passes out of 103. 13 long balls, 11 successful. You know what? I thought he had a good game. And this is the one player, bro, that's going to cause debate, because I thought he played well, but I've seen people on Twitter saying he played really poorly. I can't disagree more. I thought he was excellent with his passing distribution was great. His long ball switching was excellent. Defensively did what he needed to do when he had to do it. I thought he had a good game, man. I was quite shocked to see people on Twitter saying he had a poor game. Yeah,
there's a lot of people on Twitter saying that he was shit. And I seen it, but I ain't gonna let it change my mind. I thought he had a good game. I'm interested to see where Hugh lies with this, because I generally thought he had a good game. He was pinging balls. His crossfield balls was nearly all of them were perfect. I think he was really good. He was making them kind of passes. Yeah, some of them didn't pay off, but then passes that like break the lines. very direct and forward. Yeah, and I think people were complaining a little bit that he was spending a little bit too much time on the ball, but I think a lot of the players were look leggy in it at times. So it's not just Kyle Walker's fault. I thought he played all right.
Yeah, it's a funny one because during the game, my group chat was popping off, and some of the lads were like, "Get Rico on. Walker's absolutely crap today. He's useless. You know, he's going to cost us the game." And I was kind of thinking, well, first of all, I'll get it across. I thought he was good. I thought Kyle Walker was good. I'll get into that, but it was not the game for Rico Lewis. It was a high pressure game where it was going to be decided by fine margins, and you don't want the pressure of that falling on someone like Rico Lewis. It was to be there for Kyle Walker to either have a good game and see it out, or else he should make the mistake as he's the experienced player and he's the leader in the dressing room. You don't want a young player like Rico Lewis having to deal with that. Second point is, I think he was good. You have to understand that for large portions of that game, Fulham were on us. They were coming towards us. They were attacking us with threat and real threat. And Kyle Walker is someone who broke that threat up quite a few times. He used his pace, he used experience, and he broke up quite a few attacks. Going forward, I thought he was quite accurate with his distribution, that kind of thing. I don't know where people are getting that he had a really bad game. I get it that he didn't impact the game massively to the point where he got a goal or assist or made any massive tackles. But I think to say he had a bad game is quite harsh because I think overall he did more good than he did bad.
Bro, some of his balls out to Grealish were amazing. And was it not that got us the penalty? Because Walker played it to Grealish, and then Grealish put the ball in the box to Mahrez. Mahrez put it back and he got the penalty. So that penalty came from Walker's big switch field cross. And Walker did that to Grealish loads of times. And to be honest, Grealish, who had an okay game yesterday, we'll come on to him. But if he was better, you probably would have been saying Walker had an even better game. For me, I thought he played well. The defending, exactly. Lewis with a great comment here. The brilliant defending for that moment. We all thought it was a penalty. When everyone thought he'd give a penalty,
I thought it was a Stonewall.
Yeah, it was actually great defending. So I thought he played well. I'm going to give him a good rating. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I'll go 7.5. I think that's a good rating.
Yeah, I'll do it as well. 7.5.
Sure. The Xtra Club, they've gone with a 7, flat 7, which I think it isn't too bad. I thought it'd be worse than that, given what I've seen on Twitter.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Elmo with the 2 months says Walker didn't do anything wrong, but didn't do anything that good either. Like I say, he started the penalty move off, so I think that's decent. Some of his switching balls to Grealish was great. And some of his passes directly to Alvarez were great as well. So I thought he had a good game.
I thought he had a good game.
Let's move on to let's go to Ruben Dias, who played 90 minutes in the game yesterday, made 3 clearances, won 1 out of 2 ground duels, won 2 out of 3 aerial duels, had a 91% pass accuracy, misplaced 7 passes out of 85, long balls 13, 6 successful, and that's it for the stats. I actually didn't think he played very well yesterday. Ruben Dias, I thought defensively he was probably at fault for the goal, in my opinion. I think he doesn't get tight enough to Vinicius. He gets sort of a little bit distracted by the player that's moving across his vision, but he's being dealt with by another player. So I think he was probably a little bit at fault for the goal. I thought sometimes on the ball he looked a bit shaky, kicked the ball out a couple of times just completely unnecessarily. Whether it's because he's played so many minutes recently, he's not really had that much of a break and he just needs to be taken out of the team, I don't know. But I don't think it was one of his best games yesterday.
I think there's a cog that's not turning for Ruben at the moment. I think he's played so well. He's played so well recently, but that game he did look off the pace. I think it's the standard shit is where I could criticize him most. Just a standard shit which you'd expect him to usually on a normal day. He'd be absolutely sound with it, but this game it looked difficult for him, which is not usually something that you say about Ruben Dias. But like I say, I think we got away with it in the fact that we won the game, but he could have cost us given that he wasn't.
I reckon it was nerves, mate. Even though like people like to think Ruben Dias is this like mad guy with insane confidence levels, which he does, I do think everyone gets affected by nerves, and I do think there was a lot of nerves yesterday. I think the players yesterday knew just how important that game was, and it was probably for the reasons that I was saying building up to the game, and that there was no point in beating Arsenal if you're then going to drop games straight away against Fulham, and that's exactly what happened last time when we beat Arsenal. We then dropped points against Forest. So I think the players were actually quite nervous yesterday, and that might have been the reason for it. He has played a lot of minutes recently. Maybe that was it. But yeah, look, everyone has off days, and I do think it was an off day for Dias.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he just looked tired, man. I think we have to take into account the sheer effort that was required to get to this stage from Ruben Diaz, and even to narrow it down further, just on him specifically, to have that leadership role. He doesn't just have to focus on his own game, Ruben Diaz. He has to help other people with their own game, with other games as well, like Akanji around him, Walker too, and Stones. He has to be able to guide these players when he feels they're making mistakes. So the effort required for Ruben Diaz is somewhat greater than it is for other players around the pitch. I also think maybe he might have looked shaky because we didn't have that same level of control in the middle of the park that we usually would. There was more of an onslaught of attacks coming on Ruben Diaz. Rodri looked a little bit off it. We'll get into him. He didn't look that same energetic self. Gundogan, as we spoke about, I spoke about my review and you guys spoke on stream. He looked dead in his feet at stages. So you have to take into account that the midfield at stages was completely non-existent. But yeah, it's definitely not Ruben Diaz's finest day at the office, but he's allowed that. I think he's perfectly allowed, as long as he fixes up and he improves over the next week, because he is needed, whether he likes it or not, whether he's tired or not, he is needed. I think you can allow him a slightly off day because he's been monumental for us for the last 8-9 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I agree with that. I think that's fair. I'm gonna give him a 5.7.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
I'm gonna give him a 6.1, somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Okay. Xtra Club have given him a 6.3.
Cool. Big up to Chase with the super chat. Says, feel like some of the big dogs need a rest. You're probably right, bro. But when do you rest them?
Yeah, we don't have the luxury like that. I think it's just I think now it's about managing the players as we go forward. Hopefully, get games finished and take our chances. If we took our chances in the first half against Fulham, I think we'd have had more time to rest some players, but we don't have that anymore. So we need to basically just manage the players as you're going through games.
What I would do is, bearing in mind that after this week of home games, we have all the big away games and we have the 2 Real Madrid games. I'd probably try and rest some of them against West Ham and some of them against Leeds. Give half the big dogs a rest in each game, and then hopefully that they're all ready to go again for the big finale.
I think if Arsenal drop points tomorrow, I think that'd be big for us. That in that sense of resting players, because it does offer us a little bit more leeway.
Yeah, Rio says, I hope Pep rests Ruben for the West Ham and Leeds games and use Laporte, says Rio. Potentially. We'll see. Let's move it on then to John Stones. 90 minutes played in the game, 94% pass accuracy, misplaced only 3 passes out of 52. He had 4 long balls, 3 successful. He had 1 dribble attempt, which was successful as well. He won 3 out of 3 ground duels and won 4 out of 3 aerial duels. Made 7 clearances and 1 interception. I've got to say again, I want to be boring here because I think I'm saying the same shit about John Stones. But again, yesterday, I thought it was absolutely exceptional. Winning headers defensively, stepping out with the ball when he needed to. Stepped into midfield a few times, absolutely spun a couple of guys. Joined the attacks a few occasions as well, passing balls off to the wings. I thought, again, he's probably up there for me with a man of the match shout. I thought he was exceptional, man. I really did. Yeah,
he thrives in this new system. Proper thrives in it. I think he likes the freedom to be able to go forward because he's such a good ball playing centre back. His slots nicely, and as well, I think Rodri likes it. I think it's a bit of more safety for Rodri. Rodri can kind of free roam a little bit, or sometimes you'll see Stones go a bit more forward. Honestly, I think he's sick, and it's mad, isn't it? Because we all know how good he is, but I think he looks better now. He looks better in this new system. He looks better than ever. He just looks incredible. Like, his performance is at next level these days.
Yeah, he's unreal, John Stones. I said in the last Big Six show, I believe he's the best defender in world football right now. And people sort of go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, well, tell me who's better. Tell me who's genuinely better than John. And they all kind of went, I was like, there's the response I was looking for. Like, you can't name a player or defender in world football right now. I don't mean in terms of pedigree and what they've won and all. I just mean right now in terms of form. I think John Stones is the best in the world. And when I said about Ruben Diaz, about the lack of midfield dominance and how we invited a lot of attacks on ourselves from Fulham, I think without John Stones, it would have been even more severe. It would have been even more severe. He was a general in the middle of the park, and he was a general defense. He's one of the few players that can walk off the pitch yesterday and be like, I played a really good game. I played my game I've been playing all along the last 2 months. So big up General John Stones, man. I don't know what more you can keep saying about him. He's what we call a Rolls Royce footballer. He really is. Technical ability, defending ability, footballing intelligence, the full package, man. This guy's got it all.
Guy uses his head as well, man. Like when he knows that the team's like getting pressed heavy and that, and he knows when to slot into that centre back role and stick.
Yeah.
He doesn't just try to force himself into that CDM role. I feel like that's his. I wonder if Pep gives him that license. It just says like, look, you feel like the team needs you to sit back there. You do
Possibly,
that.
yeah.
And then when you feel like you can join, go forward, man. Go sit in that CDM role.
Yeah, possibly. I'm going to give him a good rating. I'm going to give him an 8.2.
Yeah, I was going to give him an 8. So I'm close to that.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8.1.
Nice. X Club have given him a 7.3.
It's quite low, man.
What's going on there? That's low, man. That's low in my view. That's low. It's what it is, though. Let's move on then to Akanji. In fact, let me go through a couple of super chats that we've got. Big up to OT. Says Gomez was needed for the game in the midfield. If it was the game was at home, might agree with you. I think away game for me. Not for me, man. Not for me, OT.
Yeah, not that game. Not for me.
Respect for the super chat. Big up Benji says that game was so tense that everyone is forgetting that they had one shot on target, which was the goal, which was very fortunate. The defense was immense. I think the defense was good as well.
Yeah, the defense was good.
Yeah. I don't think there was an issue. I just think there was some nerves there. But on the whole, I thought they did defend quite well. So I agree with that. And a big up to Bevo's first ever super chat on the channel says, seems like Pep told the players to drop the tempo and not go full ham. All the players didn't look like there was any urgency, possibly, or they were just knackered. You're either right or they were just knackered.
I kind of hope you're right, Bevo, mate. I hope that's the case. And they're not just absolutely gassed. But we'll have to see in it. We'll see against West Ham.
Yeah, guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. We're closing in on 75,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Let's go to Akanji then. Played 90 minutes in the game. 1 block shot. He won 2 out of 5 ground duels and won 4 out of 5 aerial duels. He made, sorry, 1 second. He had an 88% pass accuracy off of 83 passes, 2 key passes in the game, 1 cross unsuccessful, 7 long balls, 6 successful, and 2 dribble attempts, 1 successful. I thought he had another good game. I think Jumanji stonks are in the bin. Wakanji, whoa, to the moon, man.
Wakanji forever, innit? That's the situation that we're in. Wakanji forever. He's doing bits, man. Sometimes he does look shaky, but I just think that's what you get with Akanji. I think that's just sometimes you look at it and go, you don't have the full confidence of what he's doing, but I think he looks good, man. He looks good. Like it's good to see that he's the versatility that he can play him on the left hand side and play him on the right hand side. Like when Ake comes back, I have no doubt that Akanji will still be playing. I'll just move over to the right hand side. Sick. Pep will love that. Akanji starts straight to the moon.
I love Akanji, man. Even though he ignored me outside the training ground last week, we won't talk about that. I still love the guy. He's had a sick week, Akanji. He's had a sick week. He was brilliant against Arsenal, and I thought he was very good against Fulham. And I think people forget very quickly the role this guy had to come into the club for and how little we paid for him. Paid 50 million for this guy to be a 5th choice centre half, and he's just immediately found himself in the starting 11 in all the big games, and he doesn't look out of place. Stagnant career at Dortmund. Fresh start at Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, and he looks like he's been there all along. So I can't and he's also a tough nut, man. You see him when it kicked off yesterday, and Jack Grealish was getting involved in the RG Bargy. Akanji and Haaland straight in defending his boy. We like to see that sort of thing. So listen, hold tight with Akanji.
Yeah,
he's mad at 15 million now.
Yeah, for the price was crazy. I've just watched the goal back. Could he have done slightly better for the goal? Possibly. I still personally think it was Diaz's issue. I think Diaz is the one that's probably at fault for the goal. Akanji probably could be tighter to his player, but I still think that if he does, he's still got to get goal side Akanji. So the guy's probably still going to get the head off. So for me, my own opinion, I still think it was more Diaz than Akanji. Other than that, I had a pretty solid game. Made some nice balls into Jack Grealish behind. Passing at stats were decent as well. At 88%. So for me, I'm going to give him a 7.7.
Yeah, I had 7.8 in mind.
Yeah, I had 7.9.
There you go then. The Extra Club, I've given him a 7.
Probably a little bit low for me again.
I think it is. I think because the performance wasn't the best performance. I feel like the Extra Club were just this bit harshly rated.
Maybe. Yeah, I think that's a little bit low for me. But
I think it's
let's move on to the midfield then, guys. Big up to Camilla with a member chat. Says Haaland's goal celebration yesterday was the anniversary of Raiola's death. he was actually crying on the pitch. Right, I didn't actually
Oh,
know that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't see that. I'm not seeing anything
Yeah,
on Twitter
yeah.
about that. So, yeah, I mean,
That's
yeah, of
pretty mad.
course.
I thought there'd been a bit more said on Twitter about all that.
Yeah, yeah. Big
Oh
up
yeah, didn't he
Camilla.
pass away just before we announced Haaland, or before the deal was just nearly done?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's mad.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Big up Camilla with that. I didn't know that. Let's move on to Rodri then. 90 minutes played in the game, 80 passes, 8 unsuccessful. That's a 90% pass completion rate. 10 long balls, 6 unsuccessful, which is pretty impressive because that means like 4 passes that he misplaced were short passes, which is decent. 1 shot on target, 5 ground duels, 2 successful, 3 aerial duels, 2 successful, made 2 clearances and 2 interceptions. I think Hugh alluded to it a little bit before. Not quite as quick as he was against Arsenal, but he put so much work into that Arsenal game that you can sort of allow a little bit of a drop off in the game yesterday. Still pretty decent. Again, I've got to say we're missing that Phillips can't come in here because there's games that you even against Arsenal, I mean, we should in theory at 3-1 up against Arsenal be able to take Rodri off and put Phillips on, but we're not in that position right now because Pep doesn't trust Calvin Phillips. So that's really costing us a little bit because Rodri's basically being ran into the ground. We have no other play. You could play Ilkay Gundogan there, but Ilkay Gundogan's got to play centre mid because he's too crucial there. So yeah, I thought he had an okay game yesterday. Not one of his best, but not a bad performance by any means. But we are being, the fact that Phillips is not trusted by Pep, I think is costing us. But you're not really seeing it too much, but I do think it's costing us a little bit.
I think had the club known where Phillips is at now and how he's not ready yet, I think we would have moved in January and got a midfielder, just someone for cover, because we are, like you say, we can't use Gundo for cover for Rodri because we need to use Gundo for the midfield place. He's too crucial in the way that this team plays, especially in this new system. So it is difficult, man. It's we're just in a position where we have to play Rodri, and you just got to hope that we can kill off games now. That's my only thing. That, like I said before, my only thing going forward is just kill off games so we can get these players off the pitch. You kill off a game, you can put Phillips on. That's fine. I think Pep's absolutely happy with him sitting in a 3-0 lead, putting Phillips on. But it's that's the position that we find ourselves.
But it should be 2. It should be 2. And the people are like, what are you chatting about? That's a big difference. Being 2 goals clear, being 3 goals clear, we should be able to take Rodri off 2 goals clear, but we can't. We don't trust him. Pep don't trust him, in my view. So he's having to wait for that 3rd goal. And I think that's just costing us a little bit throughout the season because Rodri's played so many minutes. It's unbelievable.
It's mad though with Calvin Phillips. Like, he can't be that bad. He was a top player for quite a while there for England and Leeds. Like, he can't be so bad. I just don't understand it. Is it because I think it's just he hasn't played enough football. I really think it's just he hasn't played enough football. If he was given a proper run of games, I think you'd probably find a very decent player in Calvin Phillips from Manchester City. And I am willing to persevere with him. It's not just because he signed my shirt. Look, his autograph's on my shirt just there. But, he's my guy. Hold tight, Calvin Phillips.
He's fanboying heavy.
I said it, lifetime contract, man. Lifetime contract for Calvin Phillips. But
he's played the most minutes out of anyone in the squad, Rodri. He's played more minutes than Ederson.
Well, that goes back to the point that I made about Diaz. The physical and mental strain on Rodri to be perfect all the time, all season long, is absolutely huge. So as long as he can fix up and improve again against West Ham and Leeds, and please God, we can put one of those teams to bed by the 60th minute and maybe bring Calvin Phillips on there.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with Rodri not looking his very best yesterday. It is normal. These people are not robots. They can't be perfect all the time, even though they do it way more than they probably should. Rodri's had a near perfect season. There's very few games I can look back this season and go, Rodri was poor today. Maybe Tottenham away could have been a bit better, but there's very few games where I thought Rodri is poor. He's been excellent all season, so allow it, man.
Yeah, I'm going to give Rodri a 7.4.
Yeah, I was going 7.5 anyway.
I was going to say 7.5.
Yeah, the Xtra Club gave him where you at, Rodri? A 7.2.
Cool. Let's have a look at some of these super chats. We got Facts Only says, I'll send this again, LB. Man City just surpassed Liverpool's follow account on Instagram and become the 2nd most followed in the club on the platform.
Hold that.
That's mad.
Hold that.
Hold
that. What a dub. What a trophy.
A trophy in the bank for a big city.
Hamadless says, just this. What's this about?
That's got to be about. It's got to be about Jude. That
It's got to be about
Red
Jude.
light, isn't
That.
it?
Yeah, bro. Guy only talks about Jude at the moment, innit?
It's got to be about it.
Madness, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Give me the
Cryptic,
information.
man. It's cryptic.
The contract's still here, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. We've also got a member chat coming in from Cavi, who says, "Hi guys, I'm a Barcelona fan at loan at Manchester City for the upcoming Champions League tie against Madrid, and also at the final. If you guys get there, come on City from Cavi." Yes, Cavi.
Yes, Cavi, mate.
Mahrez has come back in and said, Jude Bellingham news from my source. Deal is done. Announcement soon. Keep your eyes open.
No. I
If
don't believe it. I refuse to believe any Jude deal will be announced while Dortmund are still neck and neck for a title race. If it happens, buzzing. I just can't see Bellingham allowing the club to say, yeah, he's going to Manchester City, but we have a title fight coming up this Saturday. So, you know.
But the problem is, though, bro, if it's not really up to him, if Manchester City agree the deal with Dortmund, then they have to legally announce it because they're a PLC in it. So.
Well, you might get the David Ornstein or you might get a Fabrizio Romano, but you probably won't get the Manchester City thing, will you?
If it's agreed, if Manchester City and Dortmund agree it has to be announced. It has to be. They have to announce it because they're on the stock market. It's the same with United. It's the same with any club that are on like the stock market. They have to announce the deals, isn't it? They can't just sit on it. So it's the same with Benfica when Liverpool.
If City go and announce Bellingham tomorrow, there'll be no one more buzzing than me. I'll be finishing off every stream saying, "Hey Jude," but I don't know. Listen, I'm just a fan, haven't I?
I think up to Dave as well says, can Laporte play the Stones centre back CDM role next to Rodri? Not for me. I don't think he's mobile enough, which is the same reason why I don't think he's as good as Ake in the left sided centre back position when we play back three. So I don't think so.
Yeah, not for me. That.
Moji says they don't have to announce it until the summer because it's not guaranteed. It's different with a buyout clause. Like if it's in principle, it's not guaranteed.
Maybe it's different then. I don't know. But I do agree in principle with what you're saying, though. I do think that Jude Bellingham will not want it to be announced while they're in this title race, but they might not have a choice. If they agree the deal, they might not actually be able to. Hamad said another 500 for Mr. Murray. I'll add into the contract, bro. You know what I mean? You're gonna be broke if this falls through. Big up to Bevo as well. Fact of the day: the top 4 players with the most successful passes in a single game ever: Rodri 178, Gundo 2 times 167, 166, and Fernandinho 164 for Canal. That is a stat, Bevo. That is a stat of the day. Rio says, rumour Man City is planning to renew Ake's contract. Seen that. Massive contract news. We'll probably do a stream later on about that, man. So stay tuned on that. But yeah, loads of contract rumours flying in. It's pretty crazy.
Check this, right? I was just checking on Blue Moon for then because to see if there was anything Jude related. But I have someone dropped him to my DMs, Cobweb Cat on a Blue Moon Farm, right? And he messaged me and said, I know this is a little bit off topic, but I thought I'd just mention it now. He said that basically you, LB, about 2 weeks ago, you said this current City side is around is in the top 5 ever. It was like that was he said basically around the top 5 ever. He was like unsure if it's factual information or not, but this current City side is the top 5 ever team. And he sent a link to the football club ELO ratings, and City are now officially in the top 5 teams of all time. Apparently, this current City side.
What stats?
By stats, best teams in history. The top one is Barca 2012. Then it's Bayern 14, Real Madrid 14, Liverpool 2020, and then Man City 2023. By stats, that's what it is.
I only speak facts. I only speak facts and information.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's crazy. Well, let's move it on then. Continue with these player ratings. Let's step into the midfield. Let's go to Ilkay Gundogan yesterday. He played 90 minutes in the game. 57 passes, 48 successful. That's an 84% pass accuracy. 5 long balls, 4 successful. 1 shot on target. 1 big chance missed. 2 dribble attempts, 1 successful. And 5 ground duels, 2 successful. 1 clearance. And that's pretty much it. I think it's a little bit harsh to say big chance missed. It was a very, very tight angle, very close to the goalkeeper. So I think that's a little bit harsh for me. I just thought it was a game where I don't think it was one of his best games, kept things ticking over. But look at him by the end of the game. Look at him at the end of the football match. He was on his knees, man. He could not move. He could not breathe, man. He was struggling because he put so much effort into the game. I just respect this guy so much, man. I seen him at the end of the game yesterday when he was blowing. I was like, fucking hell, man. This guy's doing everything he possibly can to drag this team to the title. He's captain. I mean, I've said this before. If we win the treble, he will go down in history. You know what I mean? If say we win the treble, in 50 years' time, you might forget who played left back in the game. You might forget some players in the squad because you probably don't remember the full 25-man squad. One player that you will 100% remember is the captain. He has a chance, and he knows that he has a chance. Not only is he likely to leave the club at the end of the year, so he wants to go off on a high. He's a captain, and he has the chance to make history. Captain Manchester City to a first ever Champions League win and potentially a treble. He's going to give everything he's possibly got.
It's cementing his legacy in it forever.
Yeah.
So he will 100% be going all out for it.
Well, he'll be achieving something that Company never did. He'll be achieving something that Fernandinho never did. Like, as much as we love those players, like
Silva.
he's achieving Silva achieving the untouchable for Manchester City so far in our existence. So yeah, there's no surprise that he's putting literally everything into every single game because he really wants it. But I think his age showed yesterday. You can't expect someone of his age to play week in, week out in 90 minutes at that level. But I still love Gundogan, man. I still love him.
And again, bro, like that's another player that Calvin Phillips could have potentially come on for yesterday had Pep Guardiola trusted Phillips.
Yeah.
But had to come on for
Phillips
Rodri.
could have come on as an 8. I think he could have come on as an 8 and done an okay job and keep it ticking over. Maybe not in Rodri's
role, but he should be able to come on. I don't know whether he could have come on. I don't know whether this guy's good enough because we've not seen enough of him in the Manchester City shirt. That's the truth, right? No one can say categorically, yes, he's good enough or no, he's not good enough. The fact is, though, he should have been able to come on yesterday. He should have been able to come on against Arsenal, and he's not coming on, and that's causing us a problem. But for Gundogan, pretty standard game. I'd probably give him something similar to Rodri. I'm going to give him 7.4.
Yeah, I was going 7.3.
I was going to give him a 7.1.
The Xtra Club would give him 7.2. But massive props to effort, man. Guy put all the effort in. Guy was, like you said, guy was stuck in mud by the end of it, could barely even move.
Mm-hmm.
We win a treble this season. Do you get a statue up for Gundogan straight away?
I think you have to. I mean, at the end of the day, look at what he did last year against Aston Villa. He was a key part of the Centurions year, playing CDM whole season and absolutely smashed it. And then to captain the side to the first ever Champions League trophy and win the treble. I think if you say no, you've got to. I mean, what gets you a fucking statue?
I agree. It's
He has to. He has to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with that. I agree what you're saying, and I think he should if that happens. However, I just have a feeling that he won't. I don't know why.
He has to get a statue for me to win the treble. If we win the Champions League, even if we don't win the treble, if we win the Champions League, I think he's in with a shout. You know, he's been here 7-8 years now. He's been a key part of this squad. He's been a captain for the side. He won us the title effectively last year. He done the same as Aguero, scoring goals last minute, scoring the winning goal. So to win us the Champions League, our first ever Champions League, our first ever, I think that's possibly worthy of it on its own. You win the treble. I mean, you just can't say no. I don't see how anyone could disagree with that.
I know the picture that they'd use for the statue as well. I can see it. The picture of him with his arms out celebrating.
Yeah,
from the Villa game.
It's probably worth a stream or a video in itself, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Will the club be afraid of just putting up too many statues? Because I'd like to.
Everybody in his dog gets a statue.
I don't think so. I think people will try and mock it, but for me, you've got to celebrate. You celebrate your victories, celebrate, and it's not like he's only been here 2 years. He has been here 7 years. And I'm only saying put it up if we win the Champions League. If we don't win the Champions League under him this season, then no. But if we win the Champions League this season, I think it's well within his rights. You know what I mean? You got to celebrate these players. You know, in 60 years' time, if we win the Champions League this season, you want to be able to go to maybe not 60, probably won't be alive in 60 years, but at 40 years' time, you want to take your kids or your grandkids to the stadium. You want to show our first ever Champions League victory. This man captained the side. Surely that's what you want to do. So I think it's probably worth a conversation in its own right, to be fair. Right, let's move it on to the match.
Statue sitting on a bench outside the Eddie. That's a violation, man. Leave my boy calm.
Right, let's move it on to Julian Alvarez then. Match winner yesterday. Played 83 minutes in the game before being subbed off. He got 1 goal, fantastic goal. Misplaced only 3 passes out of 21. That's an 86% pass accuracy. 1 key pass, 4 crosses, all unsuccessful. 2 long balls, both successful. 2 shots on target. 1 shot off target. 3 dribble attempts, 1 successful. Won 1 penalty and had 1 big chance missed. 6 ground duels, 4 successful. 5 aerial duels, 2 successful. And that's it on the stats. I thought it was good. I thought it was actually quite impressive yesterday. I thought his finish was great, obviously. Amazing goal. His touch at times could have been better in big situations. I think he needs to work on that. Just a little bit more composure.
He does have a heavy touch. We've seen that a lot.
Yeah, we do. But on the whole, can't really complain. Got us the win. And I thought it was a good performance. And he's starting, he's not proved to me yet, because I need to see more, but he's starting to show me that if Kevin is out, he's a serious option to replace Kevin De Bruyne in that position. He's done it a few times now. He's done it off the bench. I actually like him in that position. Like I say, he's not proved it to me because I need to see it more, but he's looking good in that Kevin De Bruyne role.
Yeah, he looks mint. He looks mint in that role. He's got a little bit of a whip on him. Obviously, it's good that he shoots on sight. It's what you kind of need when you're playing that Kevin De Bruyne role. We know Kev's not afraid of shooting. And Alvarez's finish yesterday was incredible. Like I said, I still don't know if he's seen his keeper off the line or what, but apparently he scored a very, very similar goal to that at River Plate. Yeah, unreal finish. I think it's a massive, massive, massive thing that he can play that role. Like I said before about Akanji, the versatility. Pep will love that. Pep will love the fact that Alvarez versatile. He can play forward. He could be in that strike role when he needs to rest Haaland. He can also come in for Kevin De Bruyne, and that's going to be key as well. We're talking about resting players, and Kevin De Bruyne is one of our most important players going forward. I know he's currently injured, but we're going to have to manage his minutes going to the end of the season as well, because we need Kev to be fit for most of these important games, man. But then when games where you're looking at it going, you know what, we could probably rest Kev here, Alvarez is absolutely perfect to come in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, he's sick, Alvarez. I don't know about comparing him to Kev, because I still think they're very different. I think
they're very different players.
I think the reason that Alvarez was put in for that role yesterday is exactly why you said the night before, LB. It's the fact that he offers that goal threat that we were losing out on with not having Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think I'm going to keep it fully 100 with you. I'm not sure how I feel about it going forward short term, because I don't think he has the capacity to dictate the game. I don't think he has the capacity right now to control the midfield the way Kevin De Bruyne would. And I think he's possibly part of the reason as to why we didn't control it as much as we would do with Kevin De Bruyne. But with that said, Kevin De Bruyne is exceptional. It's unfair to say that a player should do it as much as Kevin De Bruyne when Alvarez is offering as much as he did. I mean, the fact of the matter is he still won us the game yesterday. I think he's a really, really special talent, And when he refines his game and it's narrowed down to what he's specifically good at, and you throw him in here to specifically do this, he'll be exceptional. And he immediately, for me, offers more than, say, Jesus did. And he immediately offers more for me than possibly Sterling did, because Alvarez is simply just more clinical than both those two players. So immediately he's worth his weight in gold. I think he's a top player. I'm looking forward to seeing the direction his career goes position wise. Where does Pep Guardiola decide this is going to be your lock? This is where you slot in and where you find your home kind of thing, because I don't think it's that role that Kevin De Bruyne plays.
I don't either, but I'm just saying he can clearly
it's good that
play
he can play it like, but he doesn't play it like Kev, and he don't play it like Kev, because he can't do that, and it's unfair.
I think it's a good option to throw in to that area when De Bruyne is not there. But if you're going to tell him to go out there and do what Kevin De Bruyne does, you're just not getting that, and that's just what I'm saying basically.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he played well. I'm going to give him an 8.4.
Yeah, I was going to go with an 8.8. No, I wasn't. I was going to go with an 8.5. 8.8 is heavy, that. Yeah, 8.5, mate.
I'm going to say 8.5. I love his hunger for goals, man. I love how hungry he is.
That's why I said before. That's why I said in the preview, bro. Without Kevin De Bruyne, you lack goals, man. You got to go for players who can get you goals, and that's why Alvarez. It's why he played in that position.
I mean, it will frustrate people at times. I said this in my review yesterday. It will frustrate people when it doesn't work out, but it will work out more often than not because he is so clinical. But the way he thinks is sometimes I don't care who's around me. I don't care what run you're making. I sense a goal here for myself, and I'm going to go for it. I do love a player with that attitude as long as it keeps going in the back of the net. But if he wasn't scoring as much, I'd be like, listen, this guy needs to refine his game and start passing it. But man, he's hungry for goals and he's getting goals, so you can't really argue with the guy.
I love that. I just love that he pops off shots from outside the box. Like And at times this season, man, he's been unfortunate to not score. When he's had them shots, but I love it, me. I love it. Xtra Club have given him a 9.
First. Probably a little bit high for me, but I understand it, so I wouldn't fully disagree. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Approaching 300 likes. We've got over nearly 600 people tuned in, man, so get that thumbs up button smash. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. We're getting close, man, to 75,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, please just double check that you are subscribed to the channel and hit the red button. And if you want to help support the channel grow, you can become a YouTube channel member. The link is in the description. It's also the pinned comment as well. You massively help support the channel. Get a badge in the chat to show your loyalty. And yeah, you just help support us keep on creating content. We've got super chat here again. Where is it? For Rio says, thoughts on the leaked jerseys for next season? I have no comment to make, bro.
Yeah. They look good.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Right, let's move on to the wingers then. Let's go to Riyad Mahrez first. 83 minutes played in the game, 1 assist, which obviously for Alvarez, it's one of them where Alvarez done all the work, but it's still an assist. 4 dribble attempts, 2 successful. He had 62 passes, 85% completion rate, 3 key passes in the game, 1 big chance created, 2 crosses unsuccessful, 2 long balls, 1 successful. He won 6 out of 14 ground duels, didn't win his only aerial duel, and made 1 interception defensively as well. It's kind of funny, right? Because I can see why people got frustrated with Mahrez yesterday. Because a game like yesterday, Mahrez was holding the touchline a lot. And he does do that most games. And he didn't really get to cut in and invert a little bit further to get himself closer to the penalty area, which if he did, he would have had more opportunities. But what it does is it creates the space in the middle for the likes of Alvarez, for the likes of maybe John Stones to step in there. Whereas if he inverts, the space won't be there. So I think sometimes Mahrez is a victim of the system. But I think the system helps us win the game and it creates more space for our midfield players. So I actually didn't think he had a particularly bad game. I just think people are frustrated because he didn't really do much. But I just think as I say, I think that's just a victim of the system. I don't think he particularly did anything wrong yesterday. Passing stats were all right. I just think when he's out there on the touchline sometimes, there was a little bit more space for Jack Grealish. When Jack Grealish got the ball, and plus Kyle Walker switched the ball to Jack Grealish a lot, which then gave Jack Grealish space to run into. Akanji, I can't remember Akanji ain't doing that. Which means every time the ball goes over to Mahrez, it's gone from Akanji to Diaz to Walker to Mahrez. By the time Mahrez gets the ball, the guy's touch tight, so he can't do shit. So I do think that sometimes Mahrez is a little bit of a victim in this team.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he had a bad game. I don't think he had the best of games. I mean, I won't say he was shit. I mean, I see people in the chat saying that now dead, but I don't think he negatively impacted the team. Like I said, he just him being there does create space because you can't leave Mahrez by himself. I think it's just a shame that, like, say if Laporte was playing that left back role, that's one thing that you'd probably get. That's probably one thing that you get that Akanji doesn't offer you. Laporte would do them switches over to Mahrez because he's comfortable doing that. But then Akanji, you'd have to cut inside on his right foot and then do it. And I just don't think you get to see that. I think he looked kind of alive at the start. Do you know what I mean? On the right hand side, he was trying to take people on, and that was he involved in the pen? He was involved in the pen.
Yeah, he involved in the pen. He passed it to Alvarez for the pen. He passed it to Alvarez for the goal.
Yeah.
So he was involved, and of course, I know Alvarez has made the goal with his actual shot from outside the penalty area, but there's no surprise to me that the one time Mahrez got loads of space down the middle, he passed it to a player who ended up scoring. Now you could say, "Come on, LB, that's stretching it a little bit," and maybe it is, but people giving him 5s, guys. He passed the ball to Alvarez to get the penalty. He passed the ball to Alvarez to get the goal. I mean, how can you give him a 5, man?
Yeah, I
don't think he negatively impacted the game. I think he could have done a lot more to positively impact it. I think Mahrez, he is threatening going forward, and we know what he offers. But for me, he's just not willing to do the not the dirty stuff, but the extra stuff required to control a game. Like when I said we weren't controlling the game for portions spread out, Mahrez needs to identify that and be willing to move in and try to control, dictate. It was crying out for Phil Foden to come on, who will control and dictate. Jack Grealish was doing it, hold up play. When there's a lot of pressure coming on from Fulham, Jack Grealish willing to hold on to the ball. Other players likewise. Mahrez isn't willing to come off his wing and look to go right. Something's not working for us right now. I'm not getting the service that I want going forward, so I need to come back and help out in defence because there's a lot of pressure coming on, and that's my criticism of Mahrez. Bernardo will do it. Foden will do it. Grealish will do it. Mahrez, excellent going forward. I just don't see that defensive instinct or that willingness to get in and help the midfield out when needs be. You can't hog the touchline all the time, especially when we're not controlling the ball.
But what about if he's told to hog the touchline? I mean, we've heard Thierry Henry speak in the past on Sky about Pep Guardiola telling him to hog the touchline. What about if he's... That's what I think. That's why I believe he's a victim of the system, because I think he's told to do that. I think he's told hold the width. I think Jack Grealish is told to hold the width. The difference is when the ball's on the right-hand side, Kyle Walker can ping it across the pitch to Grealish, meaning that he's then got space, and no one does that for Mahrez. I think he's a victim of the system, personally. I really do.
Well, Phil Foden came on and did exactly what I was talking about there. It's not even that I want him to come in. It's when the ball goes out there, hold on to it, control it, just dictate it. I don't know how I explain it further. Phil Foden came on and did it. I just don't see that with Riyad Mahrez. I fully appreciate what he offers going forward. When we're playing well and we're controlling, Riyad Mahrez is excellent. He's going to cause any defense problems. But in situations like that, I would just like him to get involved a bit more. And listen, if he is told, even if we are under pressure, you need to stay out in the wing. My bad, right? That's Pep's orders, follow Pep's orders. But if not, and it's just a Mahrez thing, I'd like him to get involved a bit more when we're under pressure.
Yeah, track him back in that.
Just track him back, man, and be willing to come in field when we're not in possession and try and help out the midfield who are facing an onslaught of Fulham players who are actually doing quite well. That's just it with Mahrez, really. Bernardo does it. All three of the other wingers do it, but Mahrez doesn't. I don't know, does Pep give him specific orders when he's in the pitch? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go 7.7.
I'm going to give him a 7.2.
Yeah, the
you man.
The Xtra Club, the Xtra Club is here, Give me a 6.8.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I appreciate attacking players and when they look great going forward, but all round game matters. All round game, and our all round game yesterday, we didn't control the whole pitch for the whole game. We were under pressure at times, and he didn't help.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Let's go on to Jack Grealish then. 90 minutes played in the game yesterday. 3 shots on target, 3 dribble attempts, 1 successful. He also hit the woodwork following a save. 84% passing stats off 38 passes. 1 key pass in the game. 4 crosses, 3 successful. 3 long balls, 2 successful. 7 ground duels, 3 successful. 1 aerial duel, not successful. And he also had 1 block shot as well. It's funny, really, because the reason... I thought he played all right yesterday, but the reason I didn't have him in my team yesterday for yesterday, and I wanted Foden, is because of what you saw when he went in front of goal. Just not clinical enough. That was the reason for me. I thought he played all right. Should have buried probably both chances, to be honest. I know Leno made a decent save, but I still think he should be burying that. Played well. Probably played a little bit better than Mahrez in the overall game. But needs to be burying them chances. He just has to be burying them chances. Them chances have to be in the back of the net. He's a right-footed player, cutting in off the left. He's got to whip the ball into the back corner. And people can be like, or say it's difficult, bro. One of the most paid players in the Premier League. You know what I mean? He's on 300 grand a week, man. This guy needs to be doing better than that. He needs to be doing it. He needs to be more clinical. So that's why I didn't have him in my team, because no Kevin De Bruyne. You need people who can score. And Jack Grealish's stats prove that he's not good in front of goal. And you've seen that yesterday.
Yeah, I think I do think he needs to work on his finishing. I think that was very clear yesterday. I think the first shot was just like side-footed, wasn't it? The ball that went straight at the keeper, just kind of side-footed, no lift. Second one, he actually did get something. I think it was a good.
Second one was better, yeah. Yeah,
the second one was better. I kind of want to see more of that, especially because like in games like this, we need to be, like I said before, we need to be taking our chances. When Grealish gets in 10 positions, he needs to be taking his chances there. But the fact he's getting in positions is very good. And he had a lot of space on that side. I do think he overall a little bit better than Riyad in the game, but I think that's more because he was more involved than Riyad. Like in the sense of it was always going over that side. He had a lot more.
He also got the ball closer to the penalty area, which Riyad didn't. Riyad got the ball a lot of the time on the wing, really on the wing.
Kept it away. Yeah.
So Jack Grealish had an easy.
Grealish is very good at that, isn't he? He's very good at carrying the ball. Very good at carrying the ball, driving forward with it. So
he's quicker than Mahrez as well.
Right. Yeah, I think he's all right. So.
Grealish was kind of the opposite of what I was saying about Mahrez. Grealish was making that effort to get back and track back, and he was, as you're saying, running with the ball and controlling the play. but he just doesn't have that same end product that Riyad Mahrez does. But
Yeah.
I mean, another day, Grealish has a goal and an assist yesterday. I mean, the one that hit the crossbar, I think the keeper tipped it onto the crossbar, which you have to give him credit
Yeah, he
for. It was
did.
an
He
excellent
did. He
save.
did.
And then from another excellent save from Leno on the Haaland shot of the near post, Grealish should have had an assist. So it's just the luck doesn't fall your way sometimes, and that's the way it worked for Jack Grealish yesterday. But he made a real effort to get involved in the game. He identified what I'm talking about that Riyad Mahrez should have. He identified that in the midfield and a lot on his side of the pitch, Fulham were attacking us. They were coming down that way, so he had to be on his game and he had to offer that extra defensive support. So I think he was slightly better than Riyad Mahrez, but I am with you. I think he should be slightly more clinical when he gets in those positions. But then again, it's great that he's in those positions. So you can't have it all your own way, really, can't you? You can't get the perfect performance. But I think I'd give Jack what did I give Mahrez? A 7.2? I give Jack a 7.3. Slightly better.
Yeah, I was going to give it a 7.8. Might be a bit high, but I rated Mahrez quite high.
Yeah, see, it's difficult because he was better than Mahrez, but Mahrez in the end played the pass that won us the penalty. He played the pass that got us the second goal. So, you kind of have to weigh it up. What's more important, a guy to look good and have a better performance, or a guy that actually, impacted the game? Jack Grealish, yeah, he's unlucky on the Haaland one. It's a great save, but the two shots that he has to bury them.
I'd also say he was involved in the penalty one as well. The ball that
he was. He did put it
really
in
good
the
to
box.
Mahrez. It's great touch from Mahrez.
I'm just going to give him the same as Mahrez. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, well, the Xtra Club, they've done the exact same thing and done the same as what they give Mahrez. They give Mahrez a 6.8. They also give Grealish a 6.8.
Let's have a look at Erling Haaland, and the final player to look at in the player ratings. Erling Haaland yesterday joining, obviously, Andy Cole and Alan Shearer, the Premier League all-time goals in a single season of 34. He needs one goal to break it in our last 5 games. Played 90 minutes yesterday, got his goal. Expected goals, 1.09, so he underperformed his XG yesterday. 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target, 2 dribble attempts unsuccessful, 65% pass accuracy off 23 passes, 2 key passes in the game. He won 1 out of 6 ground duels and 3 aerial duels out of 6, and that's it for the stats. His penalty was absolutely incredible. Great penalty. Leno went the right way, but the penalty was dispatched beautifully. Can't really blame him for the saved shot for Leno. He did everything right, got the power there, got the accuracy. It was just a great save from Leno down at his near post. Other than that, I thought he bullied Tosin for most of the game. I think he was bullying Tim Ream as well, while Tim Ream, before he got injured and got subbed off. I think it was a nice performance from Erling Haaland. Just good he didn't break the record and get it himself. Now he has to wait, man.
Yeah, guys putting it off. Should have been done against Arsenal. It should have been done and dusted against Arsenal. He missed a chance to get a hat-trick in the first half. So it should be out of sight by now. But yeah, we have to wait another day. Hopefully he gets it on Wednesday. But, the fact that he equaled it, incredible, man. Incredible penalty as well. Guys, obviously he missed his last one. But you wouldn't tell, would you? Guy stepped up, smashed it, looks sick. I think Haaland was just doing Haaland things, just generally being a nuisance.
Yeah.
Which is what you need from him.
Yeah, I think he was fine considering the circumstance. I think he was missing Kev, man. He was missing his partner in crime. I think if Kevin De Bruyne was there, we probably would have seen a bit more influence from Erling Haaland. But everything he could do, I think he did. Bar put the ball in the back of the net a few more times, and you really have to stress and give Leno credit. He stopped it being a bit of a battering yesterday. But in terms of Haaland, big congratulations to him, man. I spoke about him in my review. This guy doesn't get spoke about enough. It does not get spoke about enough how a 22-year-old has come into the fastest and most physical league in the world and just torn to shreds. He's torn it to shreds in a number of competitions too. So listen, long may it last, man. Out with the release clause and stay for 10 years, man. Lifetime thing.
Yeah, rate that. Break all the records, innit?
Yeah, he's frightening at the moment, and he's on such good form. And I just think that it's just a pleasure to watch him at the moment. I just gutted again, like I say, that he didn't quite get the record yesterday, but we'll break it. We'll break it possibly this week. Probably.
What's he doing, man? He's so bad. He should have broke it.
What a fraud!
Fraudulent guy, man. You know what I mean? Okay, then in terms of a player rating for him, I'm going to give him a 8.3.
Yeah, I was going to 8.4 in my head, so
let's go. Yeah, I was going to say 8.3.
And the Xtra gave 7.9.
Cool.
What does the calculator give? The calculator gives him a 7.5.
7.5. Yeah. No, that's decent. Pep Guardiola, he got his tactics right, I suppose, didn't he? Didn't do anything wrong. I think the tactics was pretty much spot on there for the game. I mean, if you think about it, if they don't score that goal, which was their only shot on target, and the defensive mistake, really, the game's dead game. We completely dominate the game.
Did you see what he was saying about the grass? Like, he said that the grass was like super long, even for Fulham. Like they were struggling with it because the grass was just so long on the pitch, and it was slowing the ball down a lot.
That was probably a tactic from Fulham, though. To be fair,
leave the grass in it so it stops our fluidity in it. Short our passes because it did see like there was loads of passes, man. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Like even like when Diaz was doing it, and you're like, why is he misplacing these passes, man? These are easy passes, but that probably did put a part into it. But yeah, it's pretty mad. Just thought I'd mention that. I think Pep. The only thing I could say from Pep is probably I kind of wish we got more subs, but then because it was such a tight game, it's hard to say that. It's hard to afford to be able to do the subs when it's like that. I kind of knew that he wouldn't. We did get some subs, but I just plays like Gundogan, man. I just wish he could have got time off, but
that just tells you why you need to know about the players that are on the bench, bro. That tells you that he doesn't trust the players on the bench, as we mentioned. So but it is what it is. Pep done decent. Referee gave us the penalty, which was decent. Thought other than that, it was okay. Made a couple of other dodgy decisions, but it was pretty chill. Right, anything else, boys, about yesterday?
The Tottenham game was wild, wasn't it?
Oh, fucking hell, no, that was insane, man.
Bro, it was so Spursy. Like to come back 3-3 and then concede 90 seconds later.
I just think Richarlison just looks like a proper mug now. He just looks like a fucking idiot after what he did.
Well, have you seen everything that every time he scores, gets booked for taking his top off, and it's always disallowed. And that one scores top off, pigeon dance, and then they score 90 seconds later. Like, what's going on, man?
Yeah,
I feel sorry for these Spurs fans at this stage, man. I just feel sorry for the Tottenham fans. The shit they have to put up with week in, week like for the fans that would do all the away games as well. They went to Newcastle, got tanked up there. Went to Anfield, thought they'd stole a point. Nah, no, you don't get that moment of happiness either. Never trust a guy with a tattoo of himself on his back. That's all I'll say. That Richarlison's a weird guy. Got a big portrait.
Leroy.
This is Leroy.
Oh yeah, Leroy. Yeah.
He's saying, man. Right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you enjoyed the player ratings, man. We've got a video coming out for you shortly. We'll have some another stream this afternoon as well, this evening, man. So make sure you join us for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. And people, we'll see you in the next one. See you later.